So this is my good friend Curtis Gare. Curtis and I taught in the same district together, but never in the same building. And that was a very smart move on that district's part because we probably would have gotten in a lot of trouble. We did get in trouble when we were doing professional development together. But I've known Kurt for a long time, over a decade, very good friend of mine. He's currently living in the Dallas Metroplex area. So this is Kurt. I'm going to ask him some questions about why he thinks I should be on Survivor. But this one's going to be a little bit different because Kurt doesn't watch Survivor. He knows about the basic premise of the show, but he's not an avid watcher. So the questions and the answers are going to be a little bit different. So Kurt, whenever they are doing these reality shows, whatever level of reality you accept them to be, in the end, when they're putting people on these shows, they're casting people that they think are going to be interesting, are going to be funny, are going to be entertaining, someone that other people are going to watch. So what do you think, what are maybe a couple of things that you think about me that make me fit that role?
Well, all I can say is I can play from my experience. I think the first time we met, we were in a professional development and we just played off of each other. Just the jokes just kept escalating, getting higher and higher. I think you even got removed from that setting.
I was kicked out, yes.
And then even had a talking to after that. We got pulled aside at another one and kind of said, hey guys, you got to tone it down. You got to do different things. So from the jump, I already knew you were a guy I liked to hang out with and wanted to be around. So I think in a show setting, you're the type of guy who has the personality to endear people towards them, but also to play into other people to get what you want out of them. So,
gotcha. Yeah, that's a very fun memory. In a game where people are marooned in a certain area and they're voting other people off and they're trying to avoid being voted off, you've got to have some social skills. You've got to be able, there's a lot of things that go into that. So what do you think a strength is that I would bring into a game where people could potentially be voting me out of the game?
Well, a strength that I see in you is something you do on a daily basis. Being that you're a college professor, you're taking people of all ages, races, and creeds, everything, and you're accepting them into your room, and then you're having to impart knowledge into them. So, and as a teacher, former teacher myself, and as you as a teacher, we both know that you can't just cut somebody's brain open and dump stuff in. You actually have to reach them emotionally and connect with them before they're able to receive things. And I think that'll play really well in a show because you understand that everybody's for a goal, just like your students are. Most of them care less about your class and want a degree. But you have to give a hook to get them into your class, to give them their vulnerabilities. Because sometimes they're like, I don't know basic multiplication because I didn't learn that back then, but I got to pass this pre-calculus or whatever it is. But you have to gain trust. You have to monitor and adjust how you're applying information to them based on the situation and what their ultimate goals are and what your goals are as a professional and educator. So I think that plays really well into the show. The fact that you're able to see what other people are wanting and needing, and you're able to monitor and adjust and apply the right amount of pressure, pull back, use your sense of humor. I think the classroom, a teacher has probably two legs up on anybody else in a show like this.
Gotcha. Yeah, I hope so. What about a weakness? What about a weakness or a shortcoming or something like that?
I love you, brother. So I'm going to say it. You tend to overthink some things. You get in your own head. I'm just going to say it. I love you, man. But you might be the worst chess player against yourself in a game. I don't think it shows a lot to other people unless you're really, really close. But I think that it may get in your own head and you may be overthinking it and might come down to one of those moments where it's reality TV, so you might be off to the side and they might be zooming in on you and your head might just be spinning. So.
Yeah. It's really interesting the way you're answering these questions. You're not answering them the way that someone who has not watched the show, because there are definitely paranoid players that play it cool in front of everybody else, but then when they do their side interviews, they're going crazy. So that's interesting.
So I watched
Um,
a little. I have seen the show. It was probably 15 years ago, maybe the first season, and I only watched 1 or 2 episodes. So I've seen a little bit, but reality TV just tells you they want to see what people are thinking, and I
yeah,
think that's when people want to overplay it. I could be that guy too. So
gotcha.
I can see it
So
in you because I see it in me.
yeah, well, the Survivor has their three components: outwit, outlast, outplay. Uh, Thinking on one of those, how do you see me attempting to win a game, leaning on one of those?
Man, um, you're like the Bulls in the '90s, man, with that triangle offense. You got all of them, buddy. I'm just gonna say it. I think the thing is, I see you as a man who's dedicated to whatever he's doing. You can outlast anybody. You got your doctorate. You fought infertility with your wife and you to get your daughters. Uh, you fight your faith every day, different circumstances from churches to people to whatever. I could see you being somebody who's going to outlast anybody. I would put my money on it. My house, I'd say, hey, babe, we're betting a farm on this guy because I know you could outlast anybody.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you taking some time out of your day to do this. Thank you. Just love you and appreciate you. Just, I appreciate you so much, Kurt.
Hey, I'm really happy to be here. They need a nutball to brag you up. I'm always around.
All right. Sounds good.